How's it going?
I'm all right. What can I do for you?
Our landlord's in Florida, and the lady moved out of the house, and without telling him, she moved out, and
Okay.
she switched everything over to his name. So he needs a report saying, how did he put that?
Does she damage property or anything?
A little bit, but not whole. Well, they broke the door and all that. But what does he called it?
Well, let's take a peek at the door.
Okay.
So that's a civil matter in terms of getting back rent and payment due.
Yeah.
That's all civil. That's not a law enforcement matter. Now, if they went out of their way to purposely damage above and beyond the normal, that might be criminal damage to property.
Yeah.
But that would be something way outside the normal. Like say they were to leave all the windows open and have the pipes freeze to destroy the property on you guys.
Yeah.
That's where we would be talking possible criminal damage to property, and that would be the case there. I will take a quick peek at the door here if you want. The door is the only damage. Did you already fix it, or is that
No,
them?
that's the way it was. This part, and we just opened it with the key.
But this is how they fixed it.
Somebody
with this
did
already?
that. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
He called it. He needed a report. He called it up.
he doesn't get a. I get that he wants one, but that's a civil matter. That's
Yeah.
completely civil. He has to figure that out with the courts. If he even goes and reads the statute, it says he has to prove it. Not the police are going to prove a civil matter. We don't get involved with civil matters. That's up to him to prove. Let's say they took some action to repair it, so it's probably been that way for a while. That might actually be from a search warrant that we did.
Okay.
So in which case we'd be the ones that damaged it, and they wouldn't have been the ones that damaged it. I'm not necessarily sure. I just noticed that there was multiple warrant pickups over here. But that could be from damage that we did, which could explain why the person moved out right away too, because they knew the police knew we were there.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily sure. I can look into that little bit too, but that's probably not going to fall under being obnoxious. That is probably going to be out of their deductible or whatnot. But yeah, the rest of it is going to be all civil, especially for payment of rent and stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to call them and tell them, or if you want me to wait and see, if you want to wait and see until I get that door, I can always try to talk to them too. But yeah, that's all going to be civil. That's not something we're going to get involved with.
Yeah. He called it like abscond.
Abscond.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it's leaving without telling, basically, or hiding. But that's Wisconsin statute. It even says the tenant has to, or the landlord has to prove it. It's not a police matter. That's why they need that's why it's always suggested first and last month rent. Right away, because then if they leave, and you don't get that last month, then you just evict them. So if they don't give it to you on time, then you got the money still for that month.
Okay.
But let me look at the notes to see if we actually if we just tried picking up people for the warrants, or if we actually served a search warrant. Let me take a peek at that. I saw there's a couple of them. It should only take me 5-10 minutes probably. All right.
I'll put that speaker.
So the door isn't going to be from the police department. I do see there was a fire call, which they may have broken the door, but I don't think they did.
Okay.
Because usually they'll have us there for it to document that stuff. If you have questions on it, you could always call them. But I don't think it is. I think it's going to be for the other side. Because that one didn't have 101 or A or B listed. It was just blank, and knowing the people on the front side, I think it was probably for the front side. So that I don't think it's going to be anything to do with us.
Okay.
And then, did you have questions for me?
Dean, go ahead.
Yeah, officer, just need your answer. I've had officers in the past on this where when they have absconded me, I just need a report on it so I can take that in court to verify that I called you out there. You go in the unit, there's no bed there, there's no clothes. They definitely have left, and they also called the waterworks and lighting.
Yeah, but we don't get involved with that. That's a completely civil matter. If you read the actual statute, it's not for the police to prove. You can tell them that we stopped out and everything, and I have the body camera and he's been in here. You can prove all that stuff, but it's not. No, we're not getting involved with the civil matter of the landlord and the tenant paying rent.
No, I'm not asking that. I always ask them, did you go inside the unit?
No,
I didn't, but I don't necessarily have to. You're saying it's empty, and it's not something we get involved with.
Okay, I've had it with the police department before.
Okay, well, I'm telling you right now, we don't do that. So, but as far as it goes, if you want, I can look into the door a little bit more. But the door, again, isn't going to be something. What's that?
I just want you there for absconding to prove that
If you read the statute, that's on you to prove. It's not up to the police to prove. I would suggest reading that 700 statute. That's a civil matter, not a law enforcement matter. So,
Thanks for your time.
yep.
Have a nice day.
Okay.
all right, I'll catch up with you later, Dean. I'll get back in a little bit. All right.
Depending on what he wants done with the door or whatnot, if you're going to leave it like that or whatnot, if it's it's probably right in that middle area. If you want, I'm more than willing to take photos and do a report on damage to property, possibly. Let you guys figure that out, and the value of the door or replacing it or whatnot, if that's the route you take. If you don't take that route, then then it is what it is.
Right.
Or if he got, I don't know what he did for a deductible or whatnot. Maybe if he's had this happen before, I think you'd have a person last month and a big deductible. But that will be that. So if he decides that, I can always come back and I'll snap a photo of it.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there on that, and that would be a criminal damage to property kind of thing, not a absconding. We don't get involved with that. That's good written in the statute that it's the landlord's job to prove it, not us, and we don't want to be coming to everybody that's not paying their rent. So
he got a call from the water company that there was like tons of water disappearing from somewhere, and we checked both apartments. There's no water, and I don't see nothing running outside, so I don't know what's going on with the water.
Okay.
I don't know.
It wasn't running when you got in, and the one down below.
No, we went into the crawl space, their apartment, there's nothing. And it was the upstairs one that they were called on, so I don't know where it's going.
Well, maybe that's something to get Water and Light to come take a peek at too.
There was one over by the zoo last year where you could walk right by the sidewalk. You could see the water running, and I called on it because we were my friend and I were walking, and somebody else had already called it. It was just this side of the sidewalk was the city, this side of the sidewalk was the house.
Yeah, about 15 feet in is where it switches. Yeah. Hey, no problem. So, yep.